Good morning, everyone. My name is Latoya McCray. I'm the Integration and Training Coordinator here at Illinois WorkNet. I'd like to thank you all for coming to the local workforce area contact system demo. This training will be for LWIB staff along with the individuals which you'll know that you'll be assigned as a primary data entry person to help to assist your LWIB staff in entering data. But before we get into the demo, I would like for Mike Baker to give any words before we begin the training. And last but not least, I know some people had a conflict in their schedules. This training is being recorded and will be sent to you all after this training. So at this time, I'd like to give it to Mike.
Okay, thank you, Latoya. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We'd hoped to have this a little earlier, but we were preempted by another webinar that was kind of highly important of interest to everyone. So here we are a little bit later than we initially hoped. So overall, this is just the introduction to the new system that we'll be using to track local staff contacts. That creates our contact list here, so we know who to send information to locally, and then also keeping tabs on your board members. So as I mentioned in the letter that went out to everybody, we're doing a hybrid approach this year. You gave us everything for board certification for all your members on paper the way you've always done it. And going forward, we're going to ask you to enter that information into the system. And then next cycle around, we are going to hopefully be able to dispense with paper and all of the back and forth that you guys have experienced in the past with making sure all the forms are in alignment. Hopefully that will be in the past the next time we have to go through that process. So the first step in doing that is just getting your member information uploaded into the system. So we're going to tell you all how to do that as we go forward today. And I'll turn it back to Latoya. And thank you all for your interest. And I'll be listening along. So take it away.
All right. Thank you, Mike. Before I even begin, it would be not do justice if I do not introduce my colleagues, Marcus and Avi. If it wasn't for them, along with the collaboration with the Commerce staff, this project would have not been possible. So like to introduce Marcus. Marcus, if you can tell everyone what you do, along with Avi. Are you on?
Hey, good morning. This is Avi. I'm the developer on this project. My background is as a senior developer team lead. I worked on this project since the beginning, but I should say thanks to Latoya and the Marcus, you gave me good requirements, and then they keep on testing the system, back and forth, and then we changed. And then thanks to Mike, always give us some input.
Thank you.
Yep.
And Marcus, if you're on. Okay, he may have stepped away, but Marcus is really good with programming as well and has been a great asset to our team in assisting in this project. So just wanted to give them a shout out because they were really on the grind helping us get this project started. So let's begin. So our agenda, we did the welcomes, going to do the overview and basically get into the demo. And if you have any questions at the end. So the local workforce area contact system, you will hear us say it all the time. LWACS is an online database that's going to be housed on Illinois WorkNet. And I know there was one person that we did not mention was Beverly Miller. She was the person, the brains behind all of this and to get this started but she did everything manually, and we just took what she had and made this more user-friendly and to automate some of the changes. So this was her baby, for lack of better words. And basically, it allows primary data entry persons, which are also known as Title I administrators or LWEB staff, to enter in individual or LWEB members' contact information to help us start the process for nominations, appointments, and recertifications. So some of you on this call have various access. So the first user type that we have is an LWEB staff. They are the local workforce innovation board staff. They have the ability to view, edit, and approve LWIB members' information regarding nominations, appointments, and recertifications for their specific LWIAs. So some LWEB staff have designated some of their staff members to be primary data entry persons. So if you have this role, you'll be responsible for timely and accurate updates. So if there's any updates to the LWIB staff information that needs to be done, you will be that person to make those updates in the system and basically help your LWIB staff members. And so we also have state approvers. So those are your Mike Bakers and your Laura Doms, and that will review and edit and approve individual and local innovative board members' information as it relates to nominations, appointments, and recertifications. And there are state view access. Those are state members that just have access to all statewide information and reports. So in order to access LWACS, you will need to go onto the Illinois WorkNet website. And so when you're on the website, you will log into your Illinois WorkNet account. I strongly suggest that everyone has an Illinois WorkNet account, because that's the only way that you will access this program. And so once you go onto Illinois WorkNet, you log into your account, you'll go to My Dashboard. And so when you're on My Dashboard, you'll see this view. You'll have personal tools and partner tools. So under partner tools, you'll have access to the application. And this is an icon where it will be located. And again, the arrangement of this program is all contingent on a number of partner tools that you have in your Illinois WorkNet account. Also, for those that do not want to go through the first steps, you can actually go on to use this link. And again, this PowerPoint presentation will be sent. And you can go on this link. Again, you still need your Illinois WorkNet account to access this application. So on the LWACS system, we have a homepage screen. That's the first screen that you will see. And this allows individuals to have like a quick access to our contacts, reports, listserv, and other information here. So this is basically the screen that you will see. And again, we stress that access to reports and listservs are based on the user types. So when you begin to add in individuals or local workforce innovation board members, you will use our contact screen. The contact screen allows you to add, manage, or view contact information for those individuals. So for example, as you see here, we have filters. You can filter information by name, first or last, by the organization name, the city, the county in which that individual is located in, the LWIA, again, LWIB staff members and primary data entry persons will only have access to their assigned LWIA. Only state users have access to view all contacts. So also you can view contacts by roles, and we'll see that in the demo, along with contact type, whether they're individual contact or LWIB member, and the status. And we'll get into that as well. So on the contact screen, there are 5 status types. So you have active. Active means there are contacts that's currently active in the system. The departed status means that there are LWIB members who have reached their term expiration pending LWIB. This is when the primary data entry person enters in information as it relates to a LWIB member. And it's just indicating that the actual LWIB staff needs to review and approve this status before it moves on to the next phase, which is being approved by the Commerce staff, also known as state approvers. Once the LWIB member has reviewed the information that the primary data entry person has submitted, everything is accurate or is inaccurate, he or she will submit a status in. And once that status is submitted, it will go into pending state. That means that the contact has been submitted by the LWIB and is now waiting for state approval, a state member to review the information. And last but not least, rejected by state. This means that the contact has been rejected by a state approver, and the LWIB member needs to review and make the necessary changes that was recommended by the state approver and to resubmit that contact information for approval. So this status process is very important. It lets everyone know where a particular contact is at in the approval status process. Just want to be very clear. If it is an individual, just a regular contact, and it's not going through becoming appointed or being nominated, it will automatically go into the system as active. It does not go into the process of being pending LWIB review or state approval process. So want to be clear about that. So our next screen that we have here is our organization screen. This allows the users to review the organization types just to see what's in the list. It can be a comprehensive center or it can be something else. But as you can see from this screenshot, you'll see a list. And again, you see multiple LWIAs represented. This again, this is from a state approval view, but you will only see organizations that are assigned to your specific LWIA. And with this, if you do not see your organization located here based on the contact information you're entering in, you can add that information in, and I'll show you in the demo. And again, you will see something very consistent is our filters. Again, you can filter by organization name, city, the LWIA, or the address. Listservs. Listservs will be available based on the user type. The listserv is an email distribution list of all the individuals and LWIB contacts associated by role. So as you can see, there's a list of roles that we have, for example, primary chief elected officials, all the way down to your LWIB, your 1B, directors. And so this allows you to generate your listservs. You can add as many roles that you want. And again, this information is being pulled from the database. So it actually helps our users so they will not have to enter in everyone's contact information there, they can just pull from this database and send out a mass email. And again, this is another screenshot giving you an example how if I selected LWIB members, you'll see all the LWIB staff that are assigned, and then I will copy the email. Once you copy the email, you can paste it into your email application. Most of us use Outlook, and this is a sample of the email list that was copied into my personal Outlook account. So you may see bubbles because I was using the Outlook application, but it may be different. But again, all the emails will be in there. You can either do to or CC and create any subject line that you need to. The next screen that we have after Listserv is reports. On the report screen, users are able to generate reports designated to their specific LWIA for membership, appointment, recertification list, and more. So as you can see, again, you can filter by LWIA. Again, state users will have access to all LWIAs. When you see this, if you're an LWIA 5, you will only see your designated LWIA. And we have 4 current reports: the departed report, check report, members list, and member list report recertification. And we'll get into more details on what these reports are. Also on the report screen, you have the ability to generate reports in either an Excel spreadsheet or in a PDF. And with the Excel spreadsheet, as you all may know, you can filter your information or delete certain information as you need it. But if you need something that's quick and right away for a meeting, you can use the PDF version of that report. So as I stated before, there are 4 current reports. So our first one is the checks report. This is used by our OET staff to tell which LWIA members were approved within the last submission. And this is used to compare approved LWIB members with new submissions. And this is all based on the appointments, reappointment, and recertification process. Departed report. This again is used by OET to tell LWIB members that are no longer a part of the board. And this is all based on their termination date as it relates to the appointment, reappointment, and recertification process. The next report is the members list. And this is basically a list of all approved LWIB members. And it is used for appointments and reappointments, and it is attached to their approval letters. And last but not least, there is the members list report recertification. This is used as a list of all approved LWIB members that have been recertified. So and it's only used for the recertification process, and it is attached to the director signed approval letter. The next screen that we have is the Elway Matrix. Every month, I know Beverly sent out the matrix, or if there were any updates, but the matrix, the Elway Matrix, is basically a snapshot of membership and appointments and recertification lists. So when you go to the Elway Matrix screen, you'll see a button that says click to generate Elway Matrix. And as you can see on the right-hand side, this is the example of the Elway Matrix that's being generated. This is generated in a PDF format. So it gives you a list of all the LWIB staff members, along with chief official, elected officials, chairpersons, LWIA program service administrator, comprehensive centers, along with the Office of Employment and Training staff and that particular county in which that LWIA is located in. And last but not least, on our resources screen, You have the ability to download your forms, and this is all based on the LWACS policy. And these are forms related to appointments and recertifications and nominations and other forms that are needed. And they're located here under resources. And again, we have our user's guide. This guide would be very useful for you all to navigate the system if you have any questions. And again, this based on your feedback, the guide may be revised based on your needs and just for more clarification. So the user guide is a work in progress, but right now it is solidified to guide you through entering and editing or just managing contact information for individuals or LWIB staff. And last but not least, if you have any questions or concerns as it relates to the policies and procedures, you can contact Mike Baker, which is the lead on this project, or Samantha Dobbs. If you need any assistance as it relates to the tool itself, you can contact myself. My email address here, or for more technical support is Avi. But I advise you all to let me as Latoya be the primary contact that you need for technical assistance. So at this moment, we're going to go into the demo so you can see how the system actually looks like. Any questions so far? Okay, just gonna slide over one screen.
Latoya, I had put one in the chat about if a member is rejected, how would the local area know why that person was rejected?
Yes. So thank you for that question, Caroline. So if a person is rejected, one thing we will see, and I will show you when we do the demo, you'll see the status for that particular individual and what that status is. So if it's rejected, the Commerce staff will send you an email notifying you why he or she was rejected and the information that you will need to do to correct that that rejection status to be more of an approval status.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And also in the future, when we're still modifying the system, there will be a point where you will receive automated email notifications letting you know of the status. And Mike Baker had put in the chat for clarification going forward, Laura Dom is not involved in an LWIB certification review and approval process. Your DCO contact are myself and Samantha. So that's just a clarification that I wanted to say out loud from Mike. And the question was from Israel Vargas, can you add group from CVS or Outlook? So Israel, are you referring to the distribution list from the Listserv?
Good morning. I was referring to, I have a list of names in my Outlook, and I don't want to put them one by one. I want to be able to transfer all of the names and contact information at one time. Can that be done?
If this is your personal list that you've created, then I would suggest that you just copy and paste to whatever it is to CC or blind copy. However, that listserv that we just showed, and we'll go into a little bit more details, is basically those individuals or LWIB staff members that are in the current database. So
Thank you.
you're welcome. Okay, don't see any additional questions. So again, as I stated, to log into your LWACS system, go into your Illinois WorkNet account. As you can see, again, we'll go into the local workforce area contact system under partner tools. So for this demonstration, we're going to use our test environment so you can see some information being done. So the first step is to start just entering individual contacts. These are individuals that do not need to go through the nomination or appointment process. So I will start here, go to add or edit contact, or you can go to the contacts tab under the toolbar ribbon here that's in blue. But in this case, I'm going to click on the contacts card and go to add and edit. So again, as I stated in the presentation, we have two contacts types, LWIB member and individual contact. So before you enter in any contact information, your first step is to always look up the individual first, because you do not want to have duplicate contacts in your system. So I will advise you all to go into the contacts tab here. And as you can see, refresh it. Someone is about to say, I heard a breath.
Yes, it's me, Latoya. Can you please click on the home button? It's like I think it's been a while. It will refresh. No, the home on.
Let me just sign back in. Thanks, Avi. Technology, can't live with it, can't live without it. So basically, this is your contacts list. This is same process. But like I stated before, it's best for you to search for your contacts first. And as again, I have access to State View. So to begin your process, you'll click on the Add New Contact. And for this, we're going to start with individual contact. So as you can see, there's asterisks for required fields. So in this case, I'm just going to put Roger Rabbit as my name. I didn't see him in the contacts, so I'm going to create an email, Roger at okay. Job title, cartoon. Telephone number, just enter it in again. And as you can see, this is general information. So also, before you enter in a contact, locate or organization, make sure that you look up the organizations first. So that's what I'm going to do here. So I'm just going to pick Illinois Department of Human Services, and I found my organization. Again, with these filters, you can filter by name, city, the LWIA, but in this case, for LWIB staff and primary data entry persons, you will only see your assigned LWIA, or you can filter by address. So if you find your organization, you will select under the action column, the select button. However, if you do not see your organization, then the individual's organization in which they're in, then you enter in this information manually. And as you can see, I found my organization. And I was able to click on the select button and it pre-populates into the fields that we need. Now we have roles. This particular person can be a chief elected official, an equal opportunity officer, or someone that assists with grant quarterly reporting. And again, if you want more information to see which role an individual should have, please read the info bubbles that are provided for each role. Okay. So in this case, I'm just going to select chief elected official. Now here at the bottom, these are some additional roles that we have, and this is only for state approver groups. And this is other interested persons along with WIO state agency partners. And again, this is only for state approver. So for Roger Rabbit, he has the role of a chief elected official primary. Also want to make a note, there are CC. So if you have a person, but you know that you want to CC a particular person, they're just in there just for notification purposes. You can select that area as well. So it's very important that you know the role of that particular individual. So for Roger Rabbit, I am just going to select chief elected official primary and select the submit button. When you select the submit button, you will see an alert message box. And this box says the contact record has been entered. Are you sure you want to submit? This gives you an opportunity to say, oh, they also hold another role. Let me select no and go back to make that modification. But if you know that everything that you have entered in is correct, you can select yes. I don't know why I went there. Okay. So in this case, you should only see individual contact, and it should go under contacts, and I'm going to find Roger Rabbit. And as you can see here, he's in LWIB 13. This is his information here in this tab, and you can make any edits. However, they're under this action column, only those that are state approvers or LWIB staff members have access to verify. And it's again, this is going through the approval status, and this is only for LWIB members. So this is one way that you can review Roger Rabbit's information, or you can look at it from this view as well by clicking on the hyperlink of their name and seeing it more from a cleaner view. Okay. Now I'm going to go back to Roger Rabbit because they should not have had, and select that have local workforce innovation board member. So I just want to show you that look again, and I select yes. As you can see, you'll get a green alert message that says that the contact information has been saved. Now, if I search again for Roger Rabbit, again, I can make any modifications. Now, let's just say in your system, there was duplicate entries of Roger Rabbit. You also have the ability to delete a contact. And we recommend that you don't delete something only if it's a duplicate and it's the same information again. And as I stated before, it's very essential that you look up the individual's name first before you enter it in. But in some cases, if you forgot and you see that there's two Roger Rabbits with the same information, you can delete that contact information. So I'm going to click on delete, and you'll get another alert message box. Are you sure you want to delete this contact? all the items associated with this contact will be deleted permanently. So it just lets you know that if you make a decision to delete this contact, it will be deleted from the entries permanently. So in this case, I'm going to say yes. And again, if I want to search for Roger again under name, and as you see, it leads us back to this contact screen. And as you can see, I searched for Roger Rabbit. He is no longer there. Any questions in regards to entering individual contacts? Okay. Now let's say you have an individual that is going through the LWIB nomination and appointment or recertification process. Again, it's very essential to look up the person's name first, but if this is a new individual, we're going to click on the add new contact. And again, for a contact type, this is going through another process. And so we're going to select LWIB member. As you can see, the difference from the LWIB member and an individual contact under general information is that now you have information that is related to demographics. And demographics is only recorded for LWIB members. So again, we go through the same status. I'm going to use Roger Rabbit again, for example. Enter his name. His email again. Title, cartoon. Telephone number. Now, when you get to this next field, which is attention to, when you see attention to, that means that if the contact has a staff member that he or she should be included on for correspondence. So if they need to be on here, that for correspondent purposes, you can enter that person's name in. When it comes to characteristics weighed, again, this information is all reflecting the appointment nomination forms that you will see based on the We Owe It E policies. And again, that was under resources. So everything in this screen is reflecting that document. And so in this case, I'm going to say no, that I want to waive this information and I want to include demographics. So for gender, you have the option for male, female, or prefer not to answer. In this case, I'm clicking on male. For race, there's a list of races: American Indian, Alaska Native, Asian, Black, African American, Hawaiian Native, white, other, 2 or more races, or prefer not to answer. In this case, I'm going to say prefer not to answer, and ethnicity, prefer not to answer. And as you can see, it's Hispanic or Latino, or non-Hispanic or Latino. And with this, you go to the next portion of this screen, is organization information. Again, you must look up the organization before manually entering it. It actually helps. In this case, I'm just going to go with the first one I find, and it's right here. So it's Valley Chamber of Commerce. And again, once this is populated, as you can see with this organization, it already populates the address, the city and state is in, the zip code, along with the LWIA it's assigned to. Now that we are beginning this process, this is considered to be an local workforce board member. I will select this role because it automatically processes in the system to start the nominational appointment process. So because it's an LWIB member. So just wanted to scroll up and let you know. So I'm going to select submit. And you get an alert button, but the difference is from an individual contact is that you need to continue the process. So the alert says the local workforce innovation board contact information has been entered. Click next to continue. Now, as you see, everything we entered in contact information is reflected here on the add or edit appointment form. So this is a whole nother screen within itself, but your contact information, it will be the first on this screen. So as I scroll down, this gets more into the appointment screen. So this is the appointment screen. So what type of appointment is it? Is it a new appointment or a reappointment? So in this case, it's going to be a new appointment. Are they a current member? No. Employer change? No. So you have the options based on these radio buttons, either select yes or no. And again, this is all based on what has been filled out on the appointment form that you have. And that will be your guide in filling out this information in the system. Is it filling a vacancy? If it is, you'll select yes, and the person that is replacing and the replacement date. Again, this is required fields, as you can see that it's in red. In this case, I'm going to select yes, and it's replacing Bugs Bunny. And the date that I'm going to select, as you see, there is a calendar feature that we've put in the system. I'm just going to put that Roger Rabbit replaced Bugs Bunny on October 6th. His initial start date. This is all again based on your form. And this is all based on the terms that are outlined for your LWIA. So in this case, he's going to start on Monday, the 11th. And his expiration, depending on the term in which he or she is replacing someone, or this is a new term, it's all contingent, could be a year, a few months, or 2 years. So in this case, I'm just going to click on a year and just say October 10th of next year. Now, with this contact, if they departed, all you have to do is put a departed date, meaning you're updating this particular individual's contact. Say if Roger Rabbit's already in the system, we'll make some edits. We'll just go into departed date in which his last term was. For additional information, you have the job title, which we entered in the contact screen, and then job duties. If you want to say what that particular person's role and what they do in their role, you can enter that information in. Now, as you can see, based upon the organization, the region's name, which is Northwest, along with the region number, has already been pre-populated into these fields. Now, when it comes to LWIB membership type, there are several. You have business, workforce, education and training, government and economic development, or other. So in this case, I'm going to select business. So this is the membership type. I'm just going to say 500 is the total number of employees. The sector, construction, that NASDAQ code. This is optional. However, for this case, the NASDAQ code is very important to make sure that there's giving more data for maybe for reporting purposes to know the actual industry and more details in which this particular company is under construction. And again, is this a small business? Yes or no? And you can find more information on what the requirements are for small business administration here by clicking on this hyperlink. If the business nomination form is included, and if you have the business nomination form and it is included, you're going to select yes. And then these are your appointment form files. It's very important to upload your documents here and submit this. This allows the LWIB staff. So say if you're entering in this information as a primary data entry person, this allows the LWIB staff to review the documents that you've uploaded along with the information you've entered to make sure that everything is congruent. Also, if you are an LWIB staff member, this is also helpful for the state approvers to do the same process. So it is very important that you upload the appointment form, in this case, also the business nomination form here. So in this example, I won't upload any documents. Again, you can click on the click here to upload documents. You go into whatever file that you may have in your system, and you will do that. It will pre-populate here, and you will see like a card that says that document has been submitted. And you can do that here. You're gonna, once that's submitted, you're gonna click on the submit button. Now this lets you know that all your information has been entered for the appointment screen. Now that you will be going to the nomination screen, and you have to click on next. If you forgot to enter in some information in certain fields on the screen, you can click on cancel. But if not, click on the next button. Now, as you see that there's an alert that lets you know that the appointment form has been saved. Again, here's the contact information from the first screen, and then we've entered in everything here. Now this is your LWIB member nomination information. Again, this is all pulled from the nomination form, and you enter the entity. The entity is actually the name of the person. Okay. So I will select, let's just say, and then the nomination nominator, whoever is nominating this individual. So you can say Jane Doe is nominating Bugs Bunny. And then you enter in that nominator's contact information along with their title. And the signature date. This is important. So again, as we stated before, please make sure that you sign all documentations. This is to verify. This date only allows us to know, the Commerce staff know, also the LWIB staff know when that signature was signed. So just review the nomination form to see in which that particular nominator has signed that date. So in this case, let's say he signed the date on October 6th. So it's marked in the system. And again, you will click on the nomination, upload nomination form, and you'll select here and go to submit. Then you get another nomination alert message box that states that the local Workforce Innovation Board contact information has been entered. Click yes to complete the nomination form. So once you complete yes, it goes into states that the nomination has been saved. So again, someone asked about the status. How do you know the status? So I'm going to select Roger Rabbit. As you can see here again, you see current status. So in this case, if I am a primary data entry person, it will give me the status of pending LWIB. But if I am a LWIB staff member, let's just say I see Roger Rabbit, there's no current status, but let me verify. And again, I verify this information, making sure that everything is correct based on the form that I have physically from contact to the appointment forms, making sure that it's entered in properly, and nominations. I say, okay, everything is great. This is good. Then I am going to click on, let's just say pending update. So it has been saved, right? So you get this alert, it's pending LWIB, right? So we go here and I go back to my contact screen for Roger Rabbit, right? I'm gonna search for Roger. Here again, it's pending LWIB. Now say if I'm an LWIB member, I do the same thing. I verify this information, making sure everything is accurate. I go into the current status and let's just say it's been entered in. And again, these current statuses, as I am a super user, you will only see those statuses that are applicable to you. So now I see this information, the LWIB staff member has reviewed it. Now it goes to the state approver. I'm acting as a state approver, see that everything is fine. In this case, let's just say everything isn't fine, they're missing a field or something is missing. I can click on the reject by state and click on update status. Then it gives you an alert. The local workforce innovation board contact is about to reject and mark for LWIB to correct and resubmit. Click reject to continue. So I'm going to reject this. As you can see, it's rejected by state. And again, as Caroline Prolock asked, the state approver, Mike Baker, will send you an email stating why that particular LWIB member contact information has been rejected. And so say if the telephone number was incorrect or something was missing, you can go back into contacts. I look for Roger Rabbit again. And as you can see, this is Roger Rabbit. It's been rejected by state. I go back in. I make the corrections in which the state approver asked me to do. Again, this is all based on your review. And then let's just say they've made the state LWIB staff member made the corrections. It goes back into review, and then I see as a state approver, everything is perfect. They made the corrections. I go to approve by state and I update the status. Then we get another message box that says the local workforce innovation board contact is about to be sent to the state approval for approval. Select, submit. Okay, going back again, as you can see, it's a process because we don't want to approve or even reject someone's information if it's not actually right. So once we've gone through the process, the state approvers looked at it, everything is right and exact, it's been approved from the state. Now that you can see that the individual is now active. Any questions regarding entering LWIB information? Okay. Going into the organizations tab, as I stated before you enter in anything, please make sure that you search for your organization. And again, this is all designated by your LWIA. However, if you see an individual contact's organization is not located here, you can add a new organization. And again, you will select what LWIA he or she is in, along with the organization name. If it's a comprehensive center, the address, city, state. As you can see, state is already pre-populated, the zip code, telephone number. And if there is a different mailing address than the main one, then you will add that information here, whether it's a mailing address or a PO box. There is a question by Sarah Graham. When will this go into effect, for the next year, or are we supposed to enter all that we've just did in the system? I'm going to leave that to Mike Baker to answer.
Yeah. Thanks, Latoya. Yes, Sarah. We'd like people to go ahead and enter the information into the system now based on the forms that you filed with us. So we'll have everyone in the database and can make sure everything's working properly.
Thank you, Mike. So this is the organization screen. So I'm not going to enter this in an effective system, but this is how you enter in an organization if it's not located already in here. Any questions regarding organization? Listserv. So again, you can go to the Listserv screen from this toolbar here, or you can go to Home and select View Listserv. In this case, you have the option of doing both. So if I want to say, okay, I want to send out an email to the chief elected officials along with their CCs and one-stop operators. So what I'll do is, under the action column, I go to add. But if I'm like, okay, my supervisor or someone said I don't need to include the one-stop operators, what I'll do is click on remove. And as you can see, it's back to its original state. So once I've clicked on those roles, and again, as I stated earlier, this is all being pulled from the roles that you selected in the very beginning when you added a new individual or LWIB member. So I just want chief elected officials, and I want to generate this listserv. I'm going to click on generate emails. And as you can see, this is a list of all elected officials along with elected official CCs. So those receiving correspondence on behalf of the chief elected official primary. And once I do that, I'll go into copy emails, click on that. And if I have Outlook, I'll just use mine. And I want to compose a new an email. As you can see. And then I'll copy, and I copied it and I'll paste it here. And these are all the contacts that I've copied. So I just wanted to see that, and this is all based on whatever email application that you have. So that is the listservs. And there is a question from Joanne Johnson. For the appointment reappointment form, how should we obtain the member signature before we upload? It's a Mike Baker question.
Sorry, it's been muted already. Hopefully you've gone through this process already and have the individual signature on the form already. So just go through your normal process for that. We're just asking you to upload the form once you have it ready. So however you go about handling that is how you do it.
Okay. So next screen, again, we're going to go to reports. And again, this is all.
Latoya,
go ahead, Mike.
I'm sorry. I just want to clarify. We're not asking people, we're expecting anyone to go back and get additional signatures on new forms. We're just asking you to upload the form that you've already collected as you were going through the process. So if some of you are still working on that, that's fine. I mean, you upload it when you get it. But if you already have your signatures in hand on those forms, we're not asking you to recollect that. Just use the one you got.
The question is, will the system generate the form for signatures? Or do we have to complete all the forms and do this all? At this current moment, Kathy, yes. You will have to get the signatures for those designated individuals currently. It may be in phase 5, we'll have a system that can generate signatures, but at this moment, we do not have that currently. And so we'll need to go through the current process that's already in place now. Yes, same for the form. And again, Kathy, in the system currently, we only have a feature that's indicating the signature date in which that form was signed. There is no feature in our current system to do any signatures for the forms. When you say, can the system generate the form? Again, as I said in the presentation, the forms will be located in the resource section.
LaToya, are you talking about the forms we upload, or once we enter the board members' information, will it generate the forms, or do we still have to download the form, fill it out, send it to our board members for signature, and then upload it? Or will the system generate it, we get it signed, and then upload it? Or do we have to fill out the form?
Have to fill out the form currently.
Yeah, I'll jump in here as well. Kathy, the reason for this is that we're still working through the requirements for electronic signature on this. And given the time frame that we had and when these were due based on the policy, we determined the best approach was have everyone go through the form process that you've always used, and then we will upload those into the system. And then the next cycle around, we're going to see about how the system can be used to streamline that paperwork process. So that's what I said earlier. We're in a hybrid approach this year. This is part of the hybrid approach, is collecting the information as you always have on the forms and uploading them. But we want the information on the members in the system, so that helps in the review process and has a set. So later on, when we have to go through forms again, hopefully the system will be ready to generate that stuff and streamline the process. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
Okay. And I hope that answers Laura's question as well at this. Marissa Lewis is asking, Mike, can we collect signatures on the form via DocuSign?
Yes, you may, if it's a certified signature. Yeah. And you guys are all familiar with, digital IDs and things like that. But if it's a certified, established digital ID, those are fine.
So again, I was on after Listserv, the next thing is the reports. And again, you will only have access to your designated LWIAs. If your LWIB staff have access, or primary data entry person. But if you're a state approver, you'll have access to all LWIAs. So in this case, let's just say I want to look for LWIA 5. So this is a list of all LWIAs. And again, this is the departed report. And this is only highlighting LWIB members based on the appointment and reappointment or recertification process. So on this screen, you have the ability to look at your LWIB members based on initial start dates, term dates, along if they replace a particular person, the county and membership type. And again, this is from a tabular view. However, if you want to download it as an Excel spreadsheet, you click on the Excel button here in blue, or if you want a PDF version. So if I click on the Excel, wants me to download it. And again, how you download applications or documents is based on your settings. So if mine's, it just did that here. And this is a view of the departed report based on LWIA. And again, I have access to all, so I'll see all the LWIAs. And again, this is a view from the PDF version. I'm gonna open it up. And again, this is a list here. Again, same thing with check reports, members list, and member list recertification. And again, you will download it based on what you need in this area. So that is the report screen. The next report screen, if there is anything being updated, such as an email address or someone's a new LWIB staff member and is being replacing someone else, this information will be located on your Elway Matrix. So want the Elway Matrix, I know Beverly was sending in this out monthly, but if there's current updates, you can always click on the click to generate Elway Matrix. And as you can see, it's loading. And once it's completed loading, it will download. And it probably took long because it's multiple information in this form, and it's a PDF again, which takes up space. So again, this is your Elway Matrix, same thing that you've seen with Beverly Miller. And this is all the local areas information on here from chief elected officials. And again, this information is being all pulled from our LWACS system. Just want to show you here, and it's all the LWE is represented. And one thing is good, you'll know that you're receiving a current list because it's being generated by this specific date, which is October 6th. And to answer your question, Jeff, yes, the system is current based on recent recertifications. If there's any things that you have that's outstanding, we recommend that you enter that into the LWACS system to make sure that this information is current.
Yeah, let me clarify that. The system was transferred from Beverly's offline database that she used in mid-August. So any updates that occurred since then, you'll need to check and make sure it's okay. So if you had changes in staff or changes in staff contact information, you need to double check those and make sure that those are okay. And then if you've had changes in members, you need to check those as well. If you've had members age out of their board position as of the end of September and new members come on, those are not in the system. So you'll definitely have to add those. For those of you that submitted new members to Beverly, believe we have most of those updated in the system, but I believe there are still a handful that are outstanding. So my advice is, you check your records, go into the system and check and see, who you have listed as board members. And if you have any changes that need to be made, go ahead and make them. And if you have any questions or run into any problems, just let us know and we'll work through them and get it updated for you.
Next question's from Marissa. Okay, hold on. Question is, now or in the future, will this system be able to generate the composition vision chart?
Yeah, there's a there's a separate document that we would have to submit to Beverly that had kind of all of our WIB members listed and then kind of checked off which required LWIB slot they fill, whether it's labor or business or a required mandated partner. And I was just wondering, since it looks like we're going to be entering in all of those criteria, like which each member fits, I was just wondering if that will be a future thing where this would kind of generate, so we could see who's missing. Okay, somebody rolled off the board. How do we fill that to make sure we still meet composition, et cetera?
Got it. Thank you for that question. So currently for the composition summary form at this particular phase of the project is not available. However, in the future, we will have that added to our system. Once that's implemented, we will notify all LWIB staff along with primary data entry persons of this change. And I just want to say something. Laura Dom, she stated that the next entry should be the recertification that was done on October 1st or any changes made since August. So I just wanted to say that out loud per Laura Dom. There's another question. So will we continue to complete the composition and submit it along with the CEO signature?
Yeah, for this cycle, yes. The composition summary form is required by policy. And when you have that completed, you just upload it along with the other forms. But to Marissa's question, yes, a heartfelt, strong yes. We want to get that built into the system and to the extent possible, eliminate or reduce paperwork and the opportunity for things on the different forms to be misaligned. And hopefully, if we can get the information in here, it will populate all these forms that are required and make it so that everything has continuity and is in alignment. And that is intended to be in place for the next cycle.
Thank you, Mike. Okay. So the next tab on our screen is the resources. And again, if you do not have forms located at your office, you can always use the resource screen for forms, whether it's related to membership requirements or recertification requirements. And again, this is being derived from the WIB policy. And again, it will be under forms and instructions. So you'll see your nomination forms, how to fill out the nomination forms, it's the instructions along with the appointment and reappointment. Again, the composition summary form and everything is here for your resources. And this is under resources. Last but not least, we have our user's guide. Again, we cannot stress enough, only certain access is available to certain users. So everybody on this call is either the LWIB staff member. You have access to enter, manage, or view and approve your particular LWIB members based on your designated LWIA. And those that you assign as a backup just to enter information are considered to be primary data entry persons. He or she will only have the ability to add, to make edits or manage along with submitting these the documentations for the nomination and appointment process or recertification process. He or she will not have access to approve those documents in this process. Only you will have access to approve based on the information that has been submitted. Okay. Any questions in regards to that? And this is the user's guide. And this has been updated. As you can see, it's September 2001. And again, these are more step-by-step instructions and more details and screenshots on the various screens that we showcase today. And Mike, I included the staff for OET staff desk resources reference, and basically it's included here under resources as well, just in case they need it. Okay, and there is a question or a statement from Laura Dong. She says the policy/procedures will be revised once the LWACS is fully functioning. So she just wanted everyone to know that. So there is something that we need to address on the technical end. I'm going to make a screenshot of that in this email. Okay. And that is it for my presentation. Are there any further questions in regards to the LWACS system? Is everyone excited, delighted, worried? Again, if you are excited, this is great. Come a long way. And also, if you're a little nervous, it's okay. We are here to assist you all in making sure that this transition is run smoothly and you have the support that you need. And I'm assisting your assigned LWIA. And Samantha wants to say something. Samantha?
Well, I did not mean to hit that. I just wanted to say thank you to everyone, as I was going to put that in the chat. And again, if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Samantha Doak. And if you do have questions regarding kind of the submission process, again, you can reach out to either Mike or myself for any other questions as well.
Well, thank you again, everyone, for getting on this call. And again, if you need any technical assistance, please feel free to contact myself. Again, I'm Latoya McCray, and my email address is latoya.mccray@siu.edu. And Mike, Laura, Samantha, thank you all for allowing us to work with you on this project. It has been a joy. And some struggles, but struggles help you to grow and be better. So thank you all, and you all have a great afternoon.